enemy has drawn first blood.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Raynday Gaming. My name is Raynday, and today it's an exciting time in the realm for Paladins. We've got a brand new champion named Seris, and she's a support. Hallelujah, another support in the game. I'm tired of seeing Maldamba and Ying running around as the king and queen of their field. And you know what? This could be a new introduction that upsets that form of power struggle. I'm excited to talk to you about Seris, all of her new skills, show off a little bit of the gameplay, how her abilities work, and talk to you about some high-level strategies that I've experienced during the playtest and how we may see her impact the pro scene really quickly. Now, whereas a lot of our healers and our characters in the realm actually have more of a lighter theme, a humor theme to it, Seris brings a different attitude, more of a darker, serious, a shadow magic type attitude, which I think is really exciting and refreshing to have in the realm. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into Seris' skills. The Oracle of the Abyss's left mouse button is called Soul Orb, and instead of shooting any beams or any guns, she's actually firing a stream of magic projectiles from her hand. These deal about 200 damage every 0.3 seconds, and they pass through enemies. They also apply a Soul Orb stack with each hit, which can stack up to 4 times and will combo with her Q, but we'll talk about that in a second. Now, these Soul Orbs are so cool. They can be so dangerous from afar because you could just throw a bunch out, and anyone who walks near the point or anyone who rounds the corner could get hit by 4, 5, 6, or 7 of these bad boys and almost take their entire amount of health. Of course, she can combo off more damage if she builds up 4 stacks and maybe do some other things if she picks the right legendary, but it's just a danger zone wherever she decides to focus her attention. Of course, this can be countered with shield, so Fernando, Barrack, and Nara can come through, put a wall up, and stop any orbs from passing through them. But if one enemy or 2 enemies or 3 enemies are standing on a point together, it will hit all 3 of them if they happen to be standing in a line, and that is devastating in terms of an impact on the point fight. Fun fact, since we talk about items so much, this should be a blast shields mitigated left mouse button, which is unique. Only other healer that has that is Pip currently. Now, when you actually hit the left mouse button, you have to hold it down. If you just click it like you're trying to burst fire with Tyra or something like that, it actually won't fire. This is a cost that you pay for being able to then spam all of these orbs. It's just that little pre-fire that allows enemies to react and makes Seris a little bit more balanced in her ability to immediately switch to damage and healing. Now, she is a healer, right? So let's talk about her right mouse button, which will be her heal. It's called Restore Soul. Seris restores the soul of an ally, healing them for 1,000 health every second for 2 seconds. Now, this is Seris' only form of healing. Unlike Maldamba, who has minion spirits and a gourd, or Ying, who has her clones, and then she can also go into her ultimate, which gives extra healing to everyone on the battlefield on her team, Seris is gotta use Restore Soul to get it all done. So, it's a 2,000 health heal, which is very strong, a little bit less than Pip's Mega Potion, which he has to opt into a legendary to get, and it's quick. It's on a very quick cooldown, and in fact these cooldowns can be augmented further with cards, and a couple of cards allow you to perform actions that can then lower the cooldown as well and heal yourself as you're actually using the heal onto someone else. It's really synergistic, and I think it's actually one of the hidden deep benefits of Seris right now, the fact that she's got such great cards that really go together so well. It's a great aspect of the design of this champion, being able to pick and play different playstyles, but also to really make, even though you have a single target heal that is your only way to keep up with the Maldamba or Ying, very powerful and efficient so that you can actually still stay in the realm of healing just as much as them. And she's a very good pocket healer. She is almost the quintessential pocket healer because unlike Mending Spirits where you can miss here and there, you actually cannot miss with Restore Soul, and it does quite a bit of healing in itself. It's much more powerful than a Mending Spirits because of the fact that this is her only healing tool. So if you keep this on a tank all game long, you are going to get some serious healing numbers. But of course, that means you're not doing damage. You cannot fire left mouse buttons or do any other activities while you're healing. You actually have to cancel out of it. So people are going to have to pay the cost of saying, I'm going to keep up on healing all the time, but I am not going to be affecting the battlefield by peppering them with my soul orbs here and there and trying to set up all this damage. And trust me, she can set up some damage. And she's also one of the best champions in the realm at turning fights around. Let's talk about her Q skill called Rend Soul. Now remember, when I said those soul orbs, the left mouse buttons can hit multiple people, and when they do, apply stacks to them. Well, those stacks can be detonated by her Q. They actually deal 100 damage to each afflicted enemy for every charge detonated, and that charge heals you for 15% of your maximum life. So, let's say you put 4 stacks onto one enemy, and one enemy comes from the right, you throw 1 orb onto them, and then you hit your Q. That would be 5 stacks that you detonated. 400 damage would go to the first enemy, 100 damage would be applied to the second enemy, and you would heal for 75% of your maximum life. 15% each orb times 5 gets you that 75 health. That. Now I'm saying this kind of matter-of-factly, but that is crazy. I mean, that is so good for a healer to not only be able to do damage, but as a result of doing damage, when she pays that cost to stop healing, have the option to time out an almost full heal for herself. Now, although this does seem strong, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the landscape of healers. Grover, Grok, Pip, Maldaba, Ying, they all have opportunities to heal themselves, and pretty easily at that. They don't have to shoot somebody or headshot in order to get a heal. Seris actually has to do damage to enemies. These orbs have to make a contact with someone, not just a shield, and she's got to detonate based off of that. And however many stacks she's able to apply, she can then heal that much off it. So every time she wants more healing, she's got to do more damage. And as she's doing more damage, she can't heal her teammates. Unlike other healers who can also do damage and do healing at the same time. Think of Maldaba's Gourd or Ying's clone. She could be left mouse button using her basic attack while her clones are healing everybody important on the battlefield. So although this is a really strong kind of ability, I think that this skill is really balanced in the fact that you have to give up your only source of healing. You have to complete an action for your self-healing to take place. I think that this is a really well-designed skill that I'm excited to see, and of course, when it goes well, the bait is real. You know what else is real? The art team. Shout-outs to all of you guys, because Shadow Travel, her movement skill, is one of the more beautifully animated and I think visually stunning pieces of work on a champion in Paladins to date. When Seris uses her F, she actually steps into another plane of reality for 5 seconds. While this ability is active, you're in stealth and immune to all damage, so think of a stealth and think of a ghost walk combined together. She cannot be seen unless you are very, very, very close to her, and she also cannot be dealt damage during this time. And if you use some cards, you can move faster while in Shadow Travel as well. But the entire visual aspect of this is what just captures my imagination again. This is what makes a champion feel like a champion in my eyes. And every time I use Shadow Travel, I feel like I really did go into another plane of existence. I feel like I went into the upside down, and I'm still waiting to get back out because I love how it looks so much. And it'd be different if there was a Demigorgon running around with me in here, but you know what? I'm safe. I'm immune. I'm stealthed. It's a really amazing skill for contesting points, for contesting payloads. Seris really is a hard champion to track down as a result of this, and I think this gives her so much more uptime on the battlefield, so much more safety when things go wrong for her teammates, to be able to pull back out and reposition for another attack on your way to push, or trying to capture the objective before it reaches that 99% when they grab the first capture point. So there's a lot of opportunities here to, I think, be really sneaky, but also just to be really safe. You know, imagine you're really low, somebody comes at you, you throw 3 orbs at them, you heal for 45% of your health by pressing Q, you use some more damage to them, and then you hit your Shadow Travel. I mean, all of a sudden they're like, I don't even know if I wanted to chase you anymore, and now you're just immune and stealth for 5 seconds. I'm gonna give this one to you, and then go fight somebody else right now. And if you thought it was a good idea to run away, you were probably right. Because if you stay too long, if you were around at the wrong time, you might just get pulled in for Convergence. That's right, her ultimate, the one you probably all have been excited to hear about, is finally here, and it just rounds out Seris' kit into being a phenomenal aspect and contribution to her team. What she will do is when she presses E, she will cast her soul core into the battlefield. After a delay, a tear in reality will manifest and drag in all nearby enemies. And I don't have to say anything about it. You see the impact. You see how dangerous, how game-changing that can be. Most of the supports here have straight healing and can do damage. Maldaba, one of the unique supports, and Grok kind of as well now. Very good at disrupting, slowing enemies, stunning enemies, spreading them out with the ultimate. But it also means that it's really hard to combo off of it. How's the Victor Barrage going to land onto a clump of enemies when they all have to run away from the center and spread out? this is what Seris is going to bring to the table. All of those abilities that you want to group up targets for. Maybe it's a Grumpy Bomb, a King Bomb, maybe it's an Eevee's Ice Storm, maybe it's a Victor Barrage, maybe it's just a Tyra Crossfire of time and a Molotov cocktail to boot. Whatever it is, you want those enemies together on the point. This is the champion that can help you do so. By bringing enemies to one point, it just means that team wipes are so much more possible than they have ever have been in this game. And that's a big deal. Now, if you don't have your enemies there, you could actually follow up yourself, as you're probably seeing here, by shooting your orbs preemptively before your E actually converges and brings everyone together. That means once they all get there, they'll be hit with 3, 4, 5 flying orbs, and then you can Rend Soul all of them and do a ton of burst damage and put your team at a huge advantage in the fight. Of course, it's just an advantage when people stop fighting for like 2 or 3 seconds, but the fact when they get all pulled together, they get stunned and susceptible to any AoE damage that you have, it makes a huge difference. And I can't wait to see this, and I think this is going to be largely one of the reasons I hope we're going to immediately see Seris in competitive play, and at least pros really looking at team compositions and how to fit Seris in because of the dramatic game-changing nature of this ultimate. As far as Seris's legendaries go, I personally like Mortal Reach from a healing perspective. It increases the range of Restore Soul by 300%, essentially making it a map-wide auto-aim heal, and increases the duration by 1 second, meaning you're now healing for 3,000 instead of 2,000, which ends up making a big difference and helps you to get those healer stats at the end of a game. The Legendary Agony is more of a fun build where you want to be a solo aggro type Seris and you want to get that extra stun after 4 stacks in. I haven't found this to be that effective, but it is very disruptive and gives you the opportunity to be filling the role of a Moldambo, where sometimes the stun setup can be extremely powerful to your team and who's ready to combo off it, but maybe more of a competitive aspect than in your normal casual games. The other aspect is Soul Collector, and this is a really strong one as well. You can increase your maximum health by 2% per charge, stacking up to 8 times based on how many souls that you detonate with Rend Soul. And these stacks clear on death, but if you don't die, you've gotten quite a bit of extra health, and it just makes you a little bit more tanky, and it makes you just a little bit safer in order to do your job the way you were intended to. So that's a really strong one as well. To me, it's a toss-up between Soul Collector and Mortal Reach, which will become the go-to one, but I could see Agony being a lot of fun for people to try as well. Stay tuned here for the channel by liking, commenting your thoughts about Seris, and letting me know what you think about this champion, how she'll be impacting the pro meta, how she'll impact your casual games, and if you're excited about playing her or not, and why. And also subscribe if you want to catch more info here on the new champion. I'll be going over some loadouts and some gameplays, hopefully grabbing some PTS stuff this weekend and streaming some of that here on YouTube and also on twitch.tv/Raynday. So if you want to give those a follow, make sure you stay tuned to all of that coming out in the near future, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for me today. Enjoy the new champion coming out in OB48, Seris, and as always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.